Occurred, the 11th of December 2011, 18 hours 1 minute and 0 seconds local location. New Paris, in. USA shape. Sphere duration. 15 seconds no of observers. 2 characteristics. Lights on object, aura or haze around object. Aircraft nearby, 2 big white balls of light flying at high speeds at each other then spun around each other really fast. My sister and I were driving north on State Road 15 a couple miles north of New Paris, Indiana. I was in the passenger side and I looked out the window towards the east. Then I looked up and see 2 bright objects that were going really fast towards each other. I told my sister, "They're about to collide." She then looks out and sees them about to collide too. Then right before they hit, they turned really fast and started spinning around each other. We turned east on County Road 42 and pulled the car over at 6:01 Eastern Standard Time and called my mom to report it. We looked out the window as I was talking to my mom and they fly apart and they started to hover. When they were hovering, they looked like big bright stars or big balls of light, as if you were looking at a planet, smaller than the moon but bigger than a star and really bright. We sat there for about a minute before pulling away, but we were still watching them hover. We watched them for about 5 minutes more before we pulled over again. We then got out of the car and took some pictures on my sister's phone. We then got some pizza for dinner and went home. We then went inside and told our parents. We went back outside and looked into the sky. We showed our parents where we thought there was one UFO still there. We couldn't find the other one. After eating and talking about it, my mom said we could go out to the airport and see if anything has been reported. So we get back into the car and drive back on 15 going north and turn east onto County Road 42 again, following the same path as before. We showed her where we pulled over and then drove on to the airport nearby. The airport was closed, so we went to where the sheriff's department had been, but there was no one to talk to there either. So we drove home, and when we got back, both lights were gone. I then called the National UFO Reporting Center and reported it.
Occurred, the 11th of December 2011, 18 hours 1 minute and 0 seconds local location. New Paris, in. USA shape. Sphere duration. 10 seconds no of observers. 2. I saw what looked like to be 2 super bright huge stars fly towards each other, then circle and collide with each other very fast. My brother and I were driving north on State Road 15 towards Goshen, Indiana at approximately 6 p.m. on Sunday, December 11, 2011. As I was driving, my brother, who was in the passenger seat, looks out the window towards the east. He commented that there were 2 planes flying towards each other. Then he yelled that they were about to hit. I lean forward as I'm driving and look up just in time to see what looked like to be 2 super bright huge stars flying towards each other. All of a sudden they began sort of colliding and going in really fast circles around each other. It lasted maybe 10 seconds. As we turned left, going east onto County Road 42, they flew back away from each other and stayed stationary in the sky. I put my flashers on and pulled to the side of the road. A random person coming the other way stopped to see if we were all right. I said yes, and they continued driving. I got out of the car and looked up, and they were still, as if they were planets. We kept an eye on them the whole time we were out and until we got home.
Occurred, the 26th of September 2012, 21 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds local location. Middlebury, in. USA shape. Light duration. Approximately 2 minutes no of observers. 5-2 orange-red ball of light seen by 5 factory workers in Middlebury, in. 4 co-workers and myself were standing outside of our factory on our lunch break. We were having a conversation when one of them pointed and said, "It's a UFO." There were 2 reddish-orange balls of light traveling southwest. They were probably a quarter of a mile away from us, if that. We thought at first it was a very low-flying prop plane, but as it came closer, there was no sound, and at one point the lights were vertical of each other. They appeared to move in tandem, rotating about 270 degrees counterclockwise, then slightly back. After that, one fizzled away, and the other disappeared to the south. I captured the sighting on my iPhone and will be uploading to YouTube within a day with the title, UFO in Middlebury, in.
Occurred, the 5th of July 2013, 23 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds local location, Middlebury, IN, USA shape, circle duration, 5 minutes no of observers, 1 characteristics, changed color. I saw a large glowing light in the south sky. It looked similar to red burning charcoals and kind of flickered. I saw one in the same area on June 21st and had my camera with me. I video recorded it for 20 seconds, and it was moving north and disappearing. No sooner than I took off, I saw another one coming from the same direction. I quickly pulled off the road and videotaped it again. It moved north until it was not visible. A few seconds later, another on came from the same area that the last one did and moved at the same steady speed. I continued taping and have several photos also. I followed it as it went north until it started flickering like a yard light that is slowly turning off when it's getting light out. It may have been moving into clouds, but it suddenly reduced its size from, let's say, a 0 to a period, and also turned white at that time, and within 2 seconds disappeared. I saw the same thing in Goshen the night before, except it moved straight up until it disappeared. To the west were about 5 or more somewhat close together and moved at different speeds at an upward angle, then disappeared. I also have some photos and short video of them also. I have never seen anything like this before, and have no explanation for it. I blew up the pictures and brought up the exposure and do not see any sign of a physical object around the glowing light.
Occurred, the 22nd of December 2019, 19 hours 30 minutes and 0 seconds local location, Middlebury, IN, USA shape, other duration, 3 minutes no of observers. 1 I was heading west on US 20 and saw while driving. I stopped to see a string of 6 lights heading into space horizontally in formation, then they disappeared.
Occurred, the 22nd of December 2019, 19 hours 24 minutes and 0 seconds local location, Millersburg, in, USA shape, light duration, 10 minutes no of observers, 7 characteristics. Aircraft nearby. 8 family members of mine witnessed 8 or 9 lights in alignment going diagonally, then disappeared one at a time. I wonder if it were the Starlink satellites.
Location, Wakarusa, in, USA shape, sphere duration, 3 minutes no of observers, 1 characteristics. Aura or haze around object. April 30th 13 Wakarusa, in. 2 round spheres flying in tandem. 9:30 p.m. lasted 3 minutes flying south to north, no sound. Saw 2 glowing round sphere moving from south to north, one behind the other. Guessing speed at 150 knots. Altitude 500 to 100 feet. Flew over me and went north, and one vanished. Then the other rapidly changed direction and altitude. Then the other object reappeared. There were no flashing lights, just a flaming type glow. There was absolutely no sound. It was very quiet outside when this happened. I am very familiar with aircraft. I spent 4 years in the Navy working with aircraft. I know a winged aircraft when I see it, as well as helicopters. I have never seen anything like this before.
Occurred, the 17th of March 2016, 20 hours 34 minutes and 0 seconds local location, Goshen, IN, USA shape, circle duration, 90 seconds no of observers, 1 characteristics. Lights on object. Saw 12 to 15 yellowish-orange circles flying across the sky. Looked like some of the circular objects were bouncing up, down. Saw 12 to 15 yellowish-orange circular objects flying low in the southern sky. They were moving up and down as well as forward as they moved across the sky. I am 56 years old and an elementary school teacher.
Occurred, the 22nd of April 2017, 22 hours 0 minutes and 0 seconds local location, Goshen, IN, USA shape, oval duration, no of observers, 3 characteristics. Lights on object, changed color. Walked out of my house in the country, and seen a ball of light. It was lower than normal for anything which would make sense to see in the sky, and it was far enough away you couldn't see the shape but just the colors of blinking lights, which had green, red, and white lights blinking. It hovered for over a couple of hours from what I seen, and moved slowly left to right, up and down. I then looked around and seen another light that wasn't a star toward northeast, which was the front of my house. This light was far away as well. You could see the colors like the one that was off to the side of my house. Both did the same things, they hovered, and I watched off and on and tried to take pics and videos with my phone. And that was hard enough to zoom in and focus on them and see the different colors. You could see the different colors with your eyes, but it was hard with my camera phone.
Occurred. 2016 location. Nappen, IN, USA shape. Light duration. 4 o'clock, no of observers. 3 characteristics. Aura or haze around object, red light over small town of Nappen. Uncound light source during the 4th of July fireworks show in Nappen, in. Craft emitted a dark red light. Remained still for 4 minutes and vanished. Most likely not a lantern, as it had no movement and instantly vanished. Also much darker than any lanterns in the sky. Not a firework, as it remained visible for 4 minutes and showed no movement. Not a drone due to its instant vanishing. Light was stronger at times and dimmer at others with no set pattern. Later that night, odd light clouds appeared. An electric blue color as if lightning. Visible for 30 minutes at most, light the sky for about a mile. Possibly due to other light shows. But still noteworthy.
Occurred the 22nd of April 2019, 20 hours 32 minutes and 0 seconds. Local location, Nappen, IN, USA shape, cigar duration, 2 hours. No of observers, 27 characteristics, lights on object, aura or haze around object, possible abduction, marks found on body afterwards. A business retreat sights vibrant cigar-shaped objects. The group was on a business retreat in the outskirts of Nappen. It started raining, so we went back to our shelters. We all drifted to sleep. I was violently woken by my boyfriend, who was slightly unnerved. We stumbled outside to see the cigar-shaped objects flying above us. They generally floated counterclockwise right above us. My boyfriend hugged me tighter since I am the protective one in the relationship. One by one, the members of our group fell down as if they were instantly overcome with sleep. I was one of the last people to fall, even after I tried to run away. I woke up what seemed like a few minutes later. I was in a bright orange room where figures stood in the shadows. I pretended to be asleep. I soon was put into a deep sleep again. The next time I woke up, I was sleeping next to my boss in the cafeteria. We quickly roused the others before we verified our stories. A few of the people in the group had the entities change their clothing during the encounter. Others had strange marks on their forearms.